Working 12 hours a day won't get you any closer to your goals if you're not smart about how you use your time. It's often said, especially on social media, that working around the clock will inevitably result in you achieving your goals. Sleep as little as possible, quit all your hobbies, and work day and night until you've achieved your dreams. But if you're anything like me, you've probably found that this approach is highly unsustainable, drains your energy until there's nothing left, and keeps you in this loop of working non-stop, getting burnt out, watching some more motivational videos to get back in the groove, and repeating the process. On top of this, we're told that if we get burnt out, it's a sign of weakness, and that people who are successful simply muscle through all the discomfort, leaving us to feel lazy and guilty for giving in. But what if the path to success wasn't this much of a headache? What if there were a way to achieve your goals that didn't require you to be in a constant state of work and fatigue? If you find yourself burning out every couple of months, this video will go over some practical tips you can start using today in order to actually start achieving your goals and becoming the person you want to be. And take everything in this video with a grain of salt. This isn't meant to persuade you to change everything about how you get your work done, only to present a different approach that could be worth trying. Say you're a small YouTube creator and you've been stuck at a couple thousand subscribers for a while. You're working tirelessly, uploading videos, tweaking thumbnails, but you haven't grown much, if at all. In order to break through that plateau, are you going to keep the same approach to your content and channel, hoping that the same approach that got you to where you're at now will somehow get you somewhere completely different? Reaching a couple thousand subscribers is no small feat, and if you're satisfied with the progress you've made, that's great. But if you want to be in a different spot, you have to do different things. If a stand-up comedian has a bit that's been bombing for all of their recent shows, do they stick with it and hope that somehow the reception will change? No. They write new, higher quality material that brings them closer to achieving their goals. And the same applies to you with your channel. If you've been uploading the same kind of content that's performance has stagnated or even decreased, it's probably not going to grow your channel, and chances are you've become dejected creating it because it hasn't brought you results. And if you have received results, they've likely been minimal. This problematic and demotivating approach is what's outlined in 10x is easier than 2x by Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. The book talks about how when entrepreneurs ask themselves the question of how do I grow my business by 10%, countless pathways are visualized. There are a million different pathways to grow your business by 10%. The goal isn't big enough to require focus and specificity. A question you might ask instead is, how do I grow my business by 10x? The options become far fewer, maybe even leaving just one path to achieve 10x growth. When you weed out most paths, where you need to go becomes much clearer. Now, apply this concept to your YouTube channel. Think of the ways you could grow your channel by 10%. Probably a million different ideas going off in your head. But if I ask you, how do you get 10 million subscribers in 6 months, the amount of paths in your head drastically lower. You might not even be able to think of a strategy to achieve such a goal. Seemingly impossible goals like these force you to shift your current assumptions. You become more open to new ideas and unconventional pathways. By working countless hours doing the same things every day and expecting different results, you're choosing quantity over quality. You're grinding day and night only to move inches closer to your goal. When you shift your focus to the quality of your work and optimize your routines in order to consistently produce high quality work, you will receive better results and achieve your goals quicker. Just working more hours repeating the tasks that result in 10% growth will likely result in you becoming burnt out, unfocused, and unmotivated to continue. So how do you focus on creating more quality work that pushes you closer to achieving your goals? One way is to optimize your week by adhering to your energy. Now, I know that may sound a little too spiritual for some people, but most people have their own energy cycles, even if they're unaware of it. Some people do their best work in the early hours of the morning, uninterrupted by the coming day. Others prefer the late hours of the evening. Say you enjoy doing work in the mornings and feel you get your best results from it. Carve out time each morning on your work days and save it for whatever work you feel requires the most energy, attention, or creativity. The 10% approach would be to just work whenever you can, not taking into account how you yourself work. This way still provides results, sure, but not of maximum quality. These peak times of creativity, energy, or attention don't necessarily have to be certain hours of the day. You may be unaware of it, but there could be triggers in your life that flick the on switch in your brain and unknowingly allow you to enter a state of flow. It could be after the gym, seeing your family, activities that make getting in the zone seem effortless. Branching off of this is having specific days for certain tasks. Right now, are you doing creative work on random days, often having your flow state be interrupted by events throughout the day? One approach could be saving your more creative work for days you know are wide open, allowing you to maximize your time in flow state. Do you have tasks that are necessary but you don't particularly enjoy, even dread doing? Choose one day of the week where you tackle those tasks, eliminating the dread on every other day of the week. allowing you to focus more on the tasks you enjoy doing. Optimizing when you do your best work rather than grinding away aimlessly until the sun sets will likely make you feel better about your work and in turn produce better results. Arguably one of the most controversial topics in the world of hustling and grinding is taking a day off. While you're relaxing, watching your favorite show, enjoying a nice meal, someone else is out there head down, fingertips bleeding from working to the bone, achieving their goals faster than you. But as we mentioned before, this approach, while highly glamorized, is incredibly unsustainable. Days off, spent time engaging in hobbies, family time, are non-negotiables when it comes to maximizing the quality of your work. Everybody always talks about the importance of being in the zone, which, while does have its merit, people rarely talk about the value of truly leaving the zone. You can't be fully plugged in if you're never fully unplugged. Expecting yourself to constantly be in a state where you can produce the best results possible is a recipe for disappointment and burnout. You know that scene in Kung Fu Panda where Oogway says, "Your mind is like the water, my friend. When it is agitated, it becomes difficult to see. But if you allow it to settle, the answer becomes clear." It applies to any situation in life, especially when trying to achieve one of your goals. You need time to step away, clear your mind, and consider different perspectives. Areas you might have neglected before may actually be crucial to your success. Have you ever found that you were mad or upset about something, and in that moment, it's all you can really think about? It's defeating to feel like that. However, you may have noticed that you distracted yourself with one of your hobbies like playing a video game, cooking, exercising, and suddenly that thing you were upset about actually wasn't even that bad. Your brain needs time to process important things, and unfortunately, there's no getting around how our brains operate. Now, sometimes simply stepping away for a bit will not magically change your mood, but the majority of the time, it'll at least create some momentum towards a solution. The quality of your work is what will ultimately determine your level of success, but an equal, if not more important element to that success is your consistency. You have systems in place to optimize the quality of your work, but if you only keep this up for a couple weeks and expect major changes, chances are you'll be disappointed with the results. While focusing on quality over quantity is key to ensuring you're producing the best work possible, there's still no shortcut to achieving success. These things take time, no matter how you slice it, so you need to make sure you also have systems set in place to ensure you remain consistent over time. Making sure to take time off work will make being consistent much easier. But how long should you be working on your work days if you're focused on quality over quantity? Well, there isn't a set amount of time that ensures someone will remain consistent over a long period of time. It requires a bit of experimenting to see what your limits are for producing quality work. Some people can work 8 hours a day consistently and produce great results, others even 10. Some people may even be able to work 12 hours a day and find that consistency isn't an issue. And you don't need to overthink at what exact point you stop producing quality work. You just need to figure out a set number of hours that you know you can work consistently. If you can't make it a week without dreading the idea of waking up and working, you're probably doing too much. Think about it this way. If you had $2,000 to spend for a month, still considering groceries, rent, and any other expenses, and you wanted to begin investing in an account, would you invest $400 each day, completely running out of money by day 5? Or would you invest $40 a day, still having money for other expenses, while providing a strong foundation to ensure you remain consistent in your investment? It's a bit of an exaggeration, but the point still stands that you may be investing less of your time into your work on a daily basis, but over time you'll have made much more progress than if you were to continue flip-flopping back and forth between working 12 hours a day and burning out. In an age that constantly bogs us down with the stress of not achieving your goals quick enough, it can be harmful to your health to perceive where you're at in life as not being where you're supposed to be. This is ultimately what causes us to feel the urge to work long, unrelenting hours in the pursuit of catching up to others we may compare ourselves to. But the key is to not simply work harder, it's working different. By experimenting and pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone, we will inevitably grow and inch closer to becoming the best possible versions of ourselves. Ensuring we are creating the highest quality work and committing to that process maybe longer than we would like to will inevitably result in 10x growth for your projects and you as a person. It might take years, but you'll likely be drastically further along than if you were to stick with what you already know. I hope these tips and concepts were helpful, and if you'd like to see more content like this, like the video or subscribe. Thanks for watching.